back to Cantrip Breakers and our very first episode of 2021. It's so good to have everyone back. Say hello to everyone in the chat. Feel free to sound off. We'd love to say hi to you. And we'll once again be revisiting the region of Mornvale, a gothic homebrew setting full of ghouls, ghosts, witches, werewolves, and of course, vampires. And you may have noticed that for this first episode of the year, our layout is ever so slightly different. We are doing a one-on-one. And we thought we'd kick off the new year with something a little different as we delve into the backstory of one of our parties. So
you totally started muted, by the way. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, that's okay.
No, it's not the whole thing, just the hello part. I was too slow.
No, that's fine. Sorry, I was just really excited to get into it. But as we are now unmuted, Arianna, would you like to say hi? Introduce yourself, introduce your character.
Hi, I'm Arianna and I'm extra skinny today for some reason. I don't know how I did it, but I made myself extra. Oops. I think I might be squeezed in a little bit in this webcam, but that's okay because who doesn't want to be skinny anyway? Am I right? Something like, maybe like this. I don't know. Do I look normal? I don't know. I think this is my normal. Maybe I'm a little bit extra fat now. Does it? I don't know. But hi, my name is Arianna, and I think you all know by now that my character is Ayleen, and we're actually diving a little bit deeper into Ayleen's backstory today before we continue the main story and find out what happened to Claire before, like, she fell off a big fat tower. So we'll see what happens there. But for today, we're going back into the past. And look a little bit deeper into Ayleen. First of all, thank you so much for the hype train that reached all the way to level 4 before we even showed our faces. It's just me and Ed today. So I know there's a lot of you that are like from Hannah's community and Heigl community and Harley's community. Freaking love it that you're still here. And thank you so much for supporting this channel.
Yeah, thank you so much. And as Arianna said, I am Ed. I'll be personifying everyone else in this special one-shot. But you might have also noticed our donation bar, which is our Faith of the Gods bar. And as with... Oh, we do. Okay, never mind. We'll do that.
Is it a thing? I could turn it on.
Yeah, we can turn it on.
It's a thing.
I'll explain that.
I didn't think you had okay, it's on. I turn it on. It's on.
So it's a donation bar. And basically every time that one of you, as you have done in the past, very kindly donates to us on the Twitch channel, once the donation bar hits its limit, you cause something to happen in the game. What that happens is an entire surprise to the players and also to myself, because I usually have to make it up on the spot. And that is what left us on our particular cliffhanger at the end of last year as well. So it's your fault. But that's all our intro's done. And so without further ado, wrap up warmly, grab a drink, and endeavor to fight off the dark as we delve once more into the dark world of Mornvale in our very first installment of Secrets of Mornvale. Ayleen, all is dark. Dark and quiet in this small wooden room. The familiar taste of salt hangs in the air. Next to you, on your bedside table, an unlit candle, naked against the cold air around you, kept at bay by the heavy blanket that lies over you. And as you lie there, your young eyes do not see much in the dark. There are heavy shutters closed over the small window above you, and the thinnest sliver of moonlight creeps its way in over the wooden floorboards. And despite the quietness, in the darkness, you hear noises outside your room, muffled voices. You cannot tell what they are saying. And as you lie there, in the bed, wrapped up warmly against the cold, the muffled voices stop, and you hear a latch outside your bedroom door. It opens, and outside there are two figures, a man and a woman, both hidden in the shadows of the next room. Do you think she's awake?
I would quickly close my eyes at that.
You hear footsteps across the floorboards, creaking against the wood until they eventually come to a stop in front of you. You feel a hand on your shoulder. Ayleen.
Yes?
We have to wake up now.
Is it morning yet?
Not quite, my love. We have to. And suddenly, from beyond the room, you hear a knock on the front door. You open your eyes, and the woman in front of you, her features obscured by shadow, is nevertheless familiar to you. She has long brown hair and very pale features, and she turns towards the front door. The man still stands, obscured by shadow, hidden in the other room. The woman in front of you turns back to you. It is time. And you wake. Your eyes open and you hear the soft sounds of snoring. Looking all around, you are met with a sight you have become familiar with over the last month. A stone dormitory. It is without windows or furniture. There are no light fittings on the wall. And as your eyes adjust to the darkness, a snore comes from next to you as someone turns over in their sleep. Across the floor, lined up neatly against every single wall, children sleep on the flagstones. They are all similar ages to you, between 6 and 8, and like you, a sheet cloth acts as their mattress, and a heavy burlap acts as their bedsheet. It's a very different environment to the one you saw in your dreams. But as you wake, and you look around, you see a silhouetted figure standing in the open doorway. Tall, fairly intimidating, wearing simple brown robes and wrappings. He is tall and muscular, a half-orc, with harsh, heavily lined features and 2 blunted tusks jutting out from a prominent lower jaw, and underneath this, quite unlike the smooth, leathery, green scalp, there is a thick, dark beard hanging underneath. And he stands in the doorway with his arms crossed. It's a new morning, Initiate. Are you ready?
Yes.
Then come. And with that, he walks away from the doorway, out of sight.
Like, who else is here in this room now?
Make a perception check for me.
Oh. Oh boy, I didn't have my character sheet open. 1 second. I didn't. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, it's fine.
1 moment. Perception. I rolled a 5.
Okay. Looking around the room, you see lines of other children, all sleeping on the floor. There are no mattresses. Like I say, it is simply cloth on flagstone in place of beds. No pillows, no nothing. Looking around the room, you imagine there are probably around 20 or so other children. They're all around your age. But over the last month, you haven't learned anyone's names. Everyone has been very distant, very cold, very shy. You're all children, after all.
How old am I?
You are 6.
Ooh. So I just got here.
You have, around a month ago, you first found yourself setting foot on the flagstones of what you know to be the Monastery of Light. High up in the mountains, cold, grey, quiet.
I would like to turn to the nearest kid and talk to them if they would want that too.
The one who turned over next to you just looks in your direction. Her eyes are heavy and quite sleep deprived. All of you are still very much getting used to sleeping on a stone floor. Her eyes are bright though, and her black hair is curly and her skin a light brown. She turns to you, and you see that around her neck she wears on a piece of string a small bit of wood. Very small, unmarked, but she turns to you. What is it?
Do you know if Mom and Dad are ever gonna come back to get us?
I don't know. But Elder Marcus said that we just forget them now.
But they're my mom and dad.
Are you coming? And you look to the door and you see the half-orc there once more, looking down at you.
We quickly get up and walk towards York.
Promptness. Promptness is key. Do you understand?
No. What does that even mean?
He looks at you for a moment with his deep grey eyes before kneeling down in front of you. It means quickly, my child. As in, quickly follow me, now.
Are Mom and Dad here?
And he smiles a moment before placing his hand on your shoulder. Come, I will explain to you. But you must follow, do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Good. With me. And he stands and he walks quickly, not looking back to see if you follow.
I would follow.
So as you walk, it is quiet. The only sounds, in fact, are the echoes of yours and the half-orc's footsteps ahead of you. And he leads you through this strange monastery, a place that has become your home in the last month. As you walk, it is still dark, likely the very early hours of the morning. Empty stone hallways with no furniture or decoration. There are flickering candles along the length of the floors, melted in place on the flagstones themselves. As you walk, you see bare stone rooms with individuals sat in deep meditation, each of varying ages, all of them wearing plain, simple brown clothes. And eventually, the half-orc stops a little way off. And as you come to him, you see a wide open courtyard. You know this to be the center of the monastery. It is stone, and in its center stands a single twisting tree. It is unlike any others you have seen before this month. It is tall, neither grey nor dying. Indeed, it provides the only colour in this empty stone monastery. Its leaves are awash with oranges, reds and yellows, and all around the courtyard there are stone pillars, and occasionally benches. But as you look up, towards the top of the tree, you see grey clouds and a moon hanging high above. The half-orc turns to you. That tree. Take one of its branches.
Okay. And I would see if I could reach.
Okay. Make a strength check for me.
Yeah, I think that a 6-year-old kid doesn't really. I'll try. Strength.
Mm-hmm.
16. Haha, strong kid.
So reaching up, there are branches all the way up this twisting conglomeration of different roots and trunks. It looks like several trees twisted together. But you see a small branch jutting out, and you reach up, and with a just break it off. It is small, but fairly thick. Sort of fits neatly in your hand. And you turn to the half-orc, who nods. Good. Follow. And once again, he walks off deeper into the monastery. And as you follow, you continue down this twisting maze of stone corridors. There are no markers, no means of direction unless you know the monastery intricately, intimately. But eventually, the quietness is pierced by something else. The sounds of the wind beginning to howl. You are coming to the end of a corridor, and as you continue walking, you see that at the end of this, it opens up into the mountain itself. A winding stone staircase carved into the rock itself, moving up to the peak of the mountain. And the half-orc continues walking up the stairs, glancing back towards you to make sure that you are following, but he continues on up towards the mountain's peak. And as you continue walking, the winds swirl around you. The rock is grey and murky, and in the distance you see the mist wall. You have heard of it, but never seen it, not from your home. This giant circle of mist that entraps the land of Mornvale. You continue up. The steps themselves are simply made, much like the rest of the monastery. They're practical, purely functional rather than decorative. But as you get to the top, and as the peak comes over, you see a small structure at the top of the mountain. The peak is relatively flat, and in its center, you see a small square roof held up by grey pillars, and in its center, a simple stone bench. And in front of this, the half-orc stands, his arms folded, tall and implacable. What is your name, Initiate?
Ayleen, and I'm very cold.
You will grow used to that. Ayleen, my name is Elder Marcus. You meet me now because you have reached the end of your first month.
Does that mean I get to go home now?
Do you miss your parents?
Mm-hmm.
Ayleen, sit with me. I was once as young as you. I do not remember where I came from. I do not know when I came here. These things are lost to me. Do you know why?
Because you're old?
No, I am, but that is not the reason. Ayleen, you will come to understand. You have been chosen for a purpose. A great purpose. And where we come from, it does not matter. Our past is immaterial. To cling to one's past is to cling to oneself. And to cling to oneself is to be utterly disconnected from the world around you. Do you understand that?
Not really.
Take a look around. We stand on the peak of the Sunrise Peaks. This was once the tallest place in Mornvale. Do you want to know why it was called what it is today? A very long time ago, this land had a different name. It was the Valley of the Morning. That tree that you saw in the courtyard, it was once a part of this. It is one of the last of its kind.
Then why did I have to break it?
Because it endures. It endures just as we have endured. The people of this land. You see, much like you breaking off a piece of that tree, a very long time ago, something was taken from this land. Our freedom. An invisible hand reached towards us and plucked us from where we once lived.
Like you did to me when you took me away from my mom and dad?
In many ways, yes.
This is horrible.
Ayleen, life is a crucible.
What?
Crucibles make us stronger. They make us wiser. They make us more able to defend those around us. For you see, when the Valley of the Morning was brought here, its people were without hope. We hope to bring that back, to return us to where we once were, to rescue us from this place we call the Shadowfell.
But I don't understand why I had to be here for that.
You will in time, just as I did, just as we all did.
Am I gonna be as old as you before I can go back to mom and dad?
No. I am sure you won't be. These mountains, once upon a time, they were the mountains that when the sun rose, they were touched by the light of the dawn.
I'm sorry, but I don't care about the mountains.
Stand. Look out at the horizon.
Wait.
Looking around, you take in this dark, grey horizon. To the north, you see a large body of water in the centre of which, far, far off, sits a small island. On the water's edge, perhaps a day's ride from this mountaintop, you see a river town in the distance. To the east, standing in the distance atop a singular mountain, what looks to be a vast town built into the very rock itself. And beyond this, a great and foreboding mountain range stretching round in a mighty arc to the south, where the mountains disappear into a deep and sprawling forest that seems nigh impenetrable. Before this, great swathes of dry land stretch out, revealing small farmsteads and what look to be in the distance a town, little more than a pinprick in the distance. And around all of this, curving to the south, thick woods dissipate as they move north until eventually they make way to a dark, acrid land. The region looks ill, and heavy clouds lower overhead, and all around this, stretching up as tall as the sky and meeting the clouds themselves, you see once again the great mist wall. And as you look at all of this, you hear Elder Marcus stand behind you. Ayleen, you were born as a child of Mornvale, a daughter of the Shadowfell. This will be the last time you look upon this land as such. From now on, you'll be a child of the dawn. And one day, when the time is right, you will leave this monastery. And you will bring about the rising of the sun.
Okay.
Let me take a look at that branch. And as he looks at it, he reaches into his robe and brings out a small pendant. It is wooden, small, vaguely circular, on a piece of string. And on it, there are carved numerous concentric circles, 4 of them, crossing over one another. I carved this when I was your age. Much like you, I broke a branch of the tree in the center of the courtyard. And over time, I carved the symbol of our order into it. These circles, Ayleen, they represent the way in which we are all connected. We are all one people. I know you will have questions, as well you should, and I encourage them so long as you are a child, but you are here to stay, and you are here to train. So if you have any questions, I would ask them now.
Can I have a bed?
You will learn that these earthly pleasures that we can so easily become accustomed to, we do not require them. Not for true comfort. Comfort of the body, comfort of the mind, comfort even of the soul.
I guess that's a no then.
That is a no.
Then I don't have any questions anymore.
Excellent. Then we begin your training. There's no time like the present. Ayleen, as monks of the Order, our strength and our intellect is drawn from remnants of the old world. The light that resides in all living beings, yourself included. Against the darkness of this new world, it is the spark of hope that lights all things. And as emissaries for the dawn, we harness that energy, we channel it through our minds and our bodies. Some call it ki, but it has many names. I want you to close your eyes. Reach out with your mind. Now your mind will tell you that all you see is darkness, but that is a lie. You must reach beyond what you merely see. Taste the air around you. Feel the stone beneath your feet. Listen to the birds that fly above you. Sense the beating heart of the land and listen to your own. Observe how the two beat in tandem. And with each beat, allow yourself to feel its warmth. Make a wisdom check for me.
Okay. I can only imagine what this must be like for a 6-year-old child. I rolled a 6.
6. You close your eyes and you try and reach out, but you see two faces. One obscured by shadow standing in the next room, and the other kneeling beside you at your bed looking towards the front door. Now, I want you to hit me.
What?
I want you to hit me.
No, thank you.
Child. It's not a question.
Are you gonna hit me back?
Only if you hurt me.
What?
Come on.
Okay, I'm gonna like really, really softly just like kind of like touch you a little bit.
There is a boop on his abdomen and he just looks down. Perhaps today is not the day. I see you are overwhelmed. We will continue this another time. Keep a hold of that branch, cut it down to size. When the time is right, carve our mark into it. In the meantime, you are to study. After breakfast, you must head straight to the library. There, Elder Tomasi will instruct you further.
Okay.
Now, the sun is almost risen. To breakfast.
Yes, sir.
And as you look off in the horizon, and you see the grey sun slowly and very much obscured rise behind the mist wall, you head down the steps. As you head away from the mountain peak, you hear echoed footsteps throughout the monastery, more of them. And as you walk further, you see that people are filing out of rooms, out of halls. Many are standing from their meditation, and all are headed in one direction, past the courtyard, down a number of corridors, until eventually coming to the room you know to be the food hall. As you enter, you see a number of children your age also walking. And you see the girl with the curly black hair, who has the empty pendant around her neck, also walking. And she looks towards you and just gives a shy wave. And you file on through. And you come to a large stone room with empty windows, no glass in them, only shutters. And stretching down each length of the room sit low wooden tables, entirely bare, and on the opposite end of the room, a smaller separate table sits on a raised stone platform overlooking the space. There are no chairs around the tables. And as you continue walking, filing down either side of these tables, you see children, you see young adults, you see elderly individuals, which a number of the children have taken to calling longbeards when out of earshot. But you line down either side of the tables, and everyone simply stands in silence, waiting. And you see that next to you, the young girl with the curly black hair looks to you. Did you go to the top of the mountain?
Yeah, I did. Did you go to the top of the mountain too?
A couple of days ago.
Did you have to hit him too?
I punched him really hard.
Really? Did he hit you back?
No.
I also hit him really hard.
Yeah?
Yeah, I cried a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm Christina.
I'm Ayleen.
And you just hear a shh. It echoes around the space as one of the adults just turns towards you and gives you both a look. And Christina turns to you. Talk later.
Okay.
And there is an echo around the space as a door opens on the opposite side of the room, and 5 individuals walk in. You see Elder Marcus. You see a blue tiefling walking forwards. You see a cat-like individual, and you see a halfling. But leading them, as every morning, you see a tall, serene, elven woman. She wears a simple brown robe with sleeves that loop over her thumbs, and her hood is down, revealing pale porcelain-like skin and brown hair in a simple braid over one shoulder. And as she comes to a stop, the 5 of them sit, and everyone else follows suit. And breakfast is brought out. It is simple. Brown wooden bowls, and inside water and oats. It is cold. It is, nevertheless, fortifying. And while not particularly tasty, it is everything you need for the morning. And everyone sits and eats in silence, with only the echo of wooden spoons and the occasional echoing round the chamber. And eventually, the 5 elders at the other end stand. They nod, and they leave. And everyone else follows suit, filing out. And as they do so, and everyone moves off in different directions, you feel a tug on your shoulder and see Christine behind you. So, are you going to the library now?
So Ayleen would definitely remember that she had to go somewhere. But Arianna doesn't. So was I supposed to go to the library after fruit?
Elder Marcus told you to go and meet with
Right.
Elder Tomasi. Yeah.
Oh, right. I totally knew that. Mhm.
Well, I hope it goes better than mine. I spilled an ink pot.
Wait, what am I supposed to do?
Just go and read. It's kind of boring.
Shall we go somewhere else?
I mean, we can.
Shall we play outside?
Okay. I found a place a little while ago, which is a bit secret. If you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she looks around and running between the legs of the various adults. Can you make a stealth check for me, please?
Oh no, please! Oh god. Okay. Oh, Ed, why you gotta be like this, friend? Let me have some fun. Stealth. 10.
So, running through, and led by Christina, who rushes ahead of you, You're able to make your way through the various legs and robes of the individuals who walk around. A couple of them look at you, but pay you very little heed. None of them are elders. All of them are simply monks of the order. But you rush on. And Christina leads you to the same steps at which you ascended the peak. But rather than walk up them, she looks to either side before slowly making her way off the steps and around the rocky edge of the mountain. It's precarious, but there is a ridge she slowly starts to edge across, and she turns back to you. Come on.
Okay.
And she edges her way around until eventually you see ahead of you, in the mountain itself, a very small tunnel. It's very dark, very gloomy. And Christina continues crawling towards it, her hands clutching to the edge of the mountain. It's quite a natural path on the way towards it, but eventually she stands at the mouth of the tunnel. She turns around. Okay, so I promise it looks really scary on the outside, but inside, it's really pretty.
I'm not scared.
Well, you punched Elder Marcus, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, follow me. And with that, she darts inside.
And I would follow inside.
So, you go in, and it is dark, and it is wet, and it is clammy. But as you continue on, and you continue down the tunnel, making sure to be careful against the rocks and the stones, you see a glow at the end. As you continue going, this glow becomes a light, soft and grey, but light nonetheless. And eventually, you see Christina in front of you, standing on the edge of what looks to be a small pool of water. And as you come to the end of the tunnel, it opens up into a small cavern. Smooth, wet walls, glistening with moisture and dew. And as you look up, you see that in the cave's roof, there is a hole. And down, bits of greenery hang, and dripping down into the pool of water below, moisture falls, and a single shaft of grey sunlight streams in from above. Christina turns to you and then gestures at the cavern. I don't know if anyone else knows about this, but
Cool.
I come here sometimes when I don't want Elder Marcus to find me.
It's pretty. So, what do you want to do?
I don't know. I come here to practice voices sometimes.
Voices?
Yeah, sometimes. I don't know. I like to remember the people that I left. And when I'm feeling lonely, I come here and I pretend that I'm talking with my mothers. Which is, it's silly, but...
Do you have two mothers?
Mm-hmm.
I only
do.
have one.
Having two mothers is really cool. I like it a lot. But I've never had a dad. Do you have a daddy?
Not anymore, I think. I think I'm gonna be really old. And then I have a dad again, I think.
I mean, I don't really know what we're doing here.
Saving the world, I guess.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm really the saving the world kind of type.
Me neither.
Hmm.
Can you keep a secret?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't actually hit him.
No?
Not so hard. He did not cry.
Well, you can do it next time.
I don't think I could do it. I don't want to hit people, ever.
I know. I was always quite good at hitting bullies when I was young and still at home. But I keep being told I'm not young anymore. But I don't think that's true because I'm still a 6.
Maybe we should go back.
You can use this place if you ever get lonely or if you want to hang out.
Thank you.
But don't tell anyone, okay?
I won't.
Okay. Pinky promise?
What's a pinky promise?
So my mummies used to make me do it all the time when they really wanted me to be good, and they would put your little finger out and you just hook it and you make a promise, and then you're not allowed to break that promise ever.
I promise.
So I promise that I will always be your friend.
And I promise that I'll never forget Mom and Dad, even if they tell me to.
Me too. Okay. I guess we should go, because even when I hide, Elder Marcus gets pretty angry when he can't find me.
Okay, let's quickly go back.
So, leaving the cavern, you climb back along the ridge and back to the monastery. And Christina waves goodbye and runs off, leaving you on your own in the monastery. What would you like to do?
Well, not go to the library. Other than that, I don't know.
Sorry, did you say not go to the library? Sorry.
Not go to the library, no.
Okay. So, you walk around and you observe the monastery. As you walk past a number of rooms, you see small bowls of incense being burned as individuals kneel or sit cross-legged in empty rooms. Other rooms, you see individuals who seem to just be standing on their hands for sometimes 5-10 minutes at a time, and you just watch as these individuals, without even breaking a sweat, simply stand there upside down. You twist your head to kind of get a look at them. And as you're walking past the courtyard at one point, you see a number of monks engaging in a lesson. They are sparring with one another, blocking blows, moving almost impossibly fast. Quick jab, and then a kick, and then defending and blocking. And you can see that presiding over all of this, Elder Marcus stands, and occasionally, with a rather large staff, occasionally knocks individuals off their feet and says, "Poor form, go again." And these individuals stand and go again. And at one point you see Elder Marcus look in your direction, and you quickly flit. But it is quiet, and it is lonely. And as you walk, you see an individual off in the distance. Tall, elven, simple braid over one shoulder. And she seems to simply be walking alone down the halls of the monastery. And she turns and her head moves in your direction. She simply nods and continues walking. Ayleen, I thought I told you to go to the library.
Well, Christina told me not to go.
Did she?
Mm-hmm.
I am not in the habit of my lessons being interrupted by having to reprimand a student. Now, do you know where the library is, or do you need someone to escort you?
Escort me, please.
Braddock, the lesson is yours now. I must escort one of my students to the library. And he nods, and one of the individuals in the lesson nods back, and looking at you just gives a grin and a nod before seeing Marcus and just, I'll it'll be fine by the time you get back. And Marcus looks down at you. Come. And just walks. Not ahead of you, but next to you, keeping a very watchful eye on you. And as you walk down the corridors, eventually you come to a large set of oak double doors. And Elder Marcus stops and with a creak opens one of them. We'll spend the rest of the day here. And trust me when I say, Elder Tomasi will notice if you are gone. When the sun has set, it will be dinner. I expect to see you there. Am I understood?
Yeah.
Good. I'll be studying, and he gestures inside for you. And as you step in, and the door is shut behind you, you are met with a vast room. Larger than any you've seen in the monastery. Unlike the bare stone walls you are accustomed to, every single corner of the room is made up of giant wooden shelves that stretch higher than you can imagine, crammed with paper and tomes and volumes and scrolls. And unlike the rest of the monastery, where waxen candles melt on flagstones open, there are no open flames in here. Instead, oil lanterns hang from long iron chains attached to the ceiling. They are the only source of light in this dark, vast room. And as the door closes behind you, there is silence. And then you see something shifting in the dark. Tall, large. Would you mind stepping into the light? So that I might see you better. Good. I have not seen your face before. You have ascended the sunrise peaks this morning, have you not?
Mm-hmm.
And stepping into the light, the large shape in the darkness comes forward. He's a tall, very hairy individual, wearing heavy brown robes that have seen better days. They're moth-bitten and worn. Small black eyes and a small snubbed nose on which sit a small pair of spectacles on a chain, one of many pairs that hang around his neck. He has big ears that flop down to his shoulders, and thick brown, shaggy hair that hangs off his body, almost to the floor, with the greying hair around his chin, giving the impression of a long, long beard. You would know him to be a bugbear. And as he steps forward, so, you are one of the new initiates. What is your name, child?
Ayleen.
Ayleen. Good literary name. I am Elder Tomasi.
I am head librarian of the Monastery of Light, sole record keeper of the Order of Dawn.
Wait.
So Elder Marcus sent you here to study, then?
I think so, but I don't want to read, though.
Don't want to read? Child, what is wrong with you? In here, you'll find wonders. In here, you'll find the accumulated repository of knowledge belonging to our order. This knowledge, as this place is sacred. The words within these walls, they will serve you better than any of Marcus's training or teachings. It is only a pity that the words within these walls, it would take a human many, many lifetimes to read, let alone learn them all. Which is why you are lucky you have access to them so young. Have you read many books before, Ayleen? What sort?
All of them.
All the books? Well, you will be well suited to this library, then. You may start where you wish.
Okay.
Just be careful of the lanterns. Do not nudge them too much. Certainly not near the papers.
Okay.
If you have any questions, I'll be over at my desk.
Okay. And Ayleen would go to the nearest book and just grab one at random and sit down and open it and just stare at it, pretending to read.
Okay. Make an investigation check for me.
Where is my investigation button? 11.
11. You sit and, looking begrudgingly over at the large, hunched individual who goes and sits at his desk, looking over his glasses in your direction, you open the book. It's not very interesting. It's about herbs and plants.
Ayleen can't read at this age yet. She's just pretending.
You find yourself looking at the pictures and the diagrams and the cross sections of various plants. They mean very little to you. And the next hour, it is as though years pass. And as the years do pass, you find yourself coming back to this room day after day, in between lessons and training with Marcus and others. You steal away to your secret cavern, sometimes alone, sometimes with Christina. But in this library, you do learn. You learn to read. You read about the history of Mornvale. You learn how near to 1,000 years ago it was taken from the material plane, stolen into the Shadowfell. You learn of the vampire court that holds dominion over this realm. You learn of the 9 noble families. You learn of the splitting of various towns, the fall of Glendale and Duskmark to the north, the rumours of unquiet dead in the area. You read of the town of Hartstead, how it has rejected the help of other towns in recent years, becoming increasingly secluded and secretive in its position in the Heartland Forest. You learn of Countess Regina Valentin, the ruler of sorts of Mornvale. But perhaps of more interest to you, you learn of the creatures that stalk Mornvale. The creatures and their weaknesses. The giant bats that fly through the sky and their aversion to true sunlight, something that can be attained only through magic itself. You learn of the curse of lycanthropy, giant wolf-like men and women who stalk the lands, their aversion to silver. You learn of the creatures dwelling at the depths of the pallid lake, and you learn of the vampires. Little is known of them. Their weaknesses are few: sunlight, running water, a wooden stake while they lie reposed within coffins. But you read, alone in the darkness of the library, occasionally hearing the shambling of Elder Tomasi around the room. There is a knock at the front door, and the woman next to your bed looks towards the noise and then back at you. The man still stands in the other room. They've come for you. You need to go, Ayleen. And the woman stands and hurriedly rushes to the end of your bed, to the other side of the room, and starts to place food in a small satchel for you. And the man continues to stand in the doorway, silent and unmoving. Come on, darling, get dressed. Ayleen, please.
Am I 6 there again?
You are 6.
So it's a dream?
You are back in your home.
I don't want to go.
I don't want you to go either, my darling, but...
Come with me, please.
Ayleen, don't make this any harder than it has to be.
I don't want to go. Make them go away.
Ayleen, I love you. I love you so much. But please. This is bigger than any one of us, my darling. You will understand one day, I promise you will. But you have to go. And the front door knocks again, and the woman looks over to the door and then back to you. As she does, her features seem to shift, soften, blur. It's almost as though you cannot quite grasp them. Come on, my darling. The voice starts to muffle and blur. Come on, Ayleen. You must go now. Come along. She stands, and there is a knock at the front door again, and suddenly you look down. You have your bag in your hand, and you are clothed. The man still stands in the other room, hidden by shadow, and the woman stands at the front door. She looks back to you. Her features are shifting, and she looks at you. Ayleen. Ayleen. Hey, Ayleen. You look up. There is a pile of books on the desk in front of you, and you look up to see Christina.
Sorry, I dozed off, I think.
It's fine. You study harder than anyone I've met.
I know. What time is it? How long have I been here?
You've been here around 4 hours now, and as you look up to Christina and wipe the sleep from your eyes, you see she is a little older, a little leaner. And as she leans on the desk in front of you, you take in your own hands as you push the books to one side, calloused from training. Older, stronger. And the 11-year-old girl in front of you looks at you. You know, I am amazed that you've been able to come in here as long as you have. Elder Tomasi, I think, has all but banned me ever since, well, my first day, really.
I know, but I think this is important. I really think that I need to know all of this. I don't want to fail once we go out, you know?
I know. Got a better head for it than I do.
You're fine.
Nah, I just don't like reading is all.
You're a good fighter, though.
Well, and she looks around, and there is a soft snore as you see Elder Tomasi leaning against his own desk. On that subject, I was wondering if you wanted to go and train.
Oh, you mean if I wanted to get my butt kicked again?
Hey, maybe. I don't know. It could be fun. Before, we have to do the usual rigmarole of training with Elder Marcus. I thought, we might be able to show up some of the other students if we're already there, ready for action.
Fair enough. Let's do it.
Okay. I will lead the way, see if you can keep up. And with that, she just runs towards the door and it slams open. There's a...
Close the door behind you!
I would quickly close the book in front of me and put it where I got it from and just rush after Christina.
Okay, make an athletics check for me.
Oh,
see
boy.
if you can keep up.
Every time you make me roll, I get a little bit anxious. I rolled a 13.
As you run after her, you very quickly just manage to push past her as she stumbles by and, hey, it isn't fair, come on! And she runs after you as you rush ahead, rushing through the corridors, and every so often, one of the monks just sort of sweeps past you and they just, hey, look where you're going! And you continue running, and Christina runs and, sorry, she's very clumsy, and continues running after you. And you run to the place where the two of you often meet and talk and train together. And you find yourself once again in the wide open cavern, single stream of sunlight, creating a column of light down to the center of the room. And as you rush in, there is a... I think you're getting faster. I think you're using your key in a way that you should not be using it.
I did not use any key. I did not.
I think you did, and I think
better.
Elder Marcus would be very, very, very angry at you for mistreating this pure gift that we have been given.
Oh, you're such a good loser, aren't you?
Okay, so what do you want to train in? You want to skip leg day and just go straight to punching, or what?
Let's do it all. Let's do it all. Let's freestyle.
Okay, freestyling's good. I'll go easy on you.
Oh, see about that.
So if you can make just a general dexterity check for me.
What is a general dexterity check?
Just roll straight dex.
You mean like just dex? Okay, that's a
Just
5.
dex, yeah. A 5. So over the next hour or so, the two of you spar. It is very evenly matched, but Christina is a very good combatant. And you're able to fend off her blows, but a few glance off your ribcage and you feel a couple of blows that will definitely smart and bruise in the morning as the two of you spar and fight with one another. And eventually comes to an end as Christina leans back against one of the rocks and don't quote me on this, but I think you're getting better.
Oh, I think I'm gonna regret this in the morning. That punch in the stomach literally took my breath away. You're better than I am. You really are.
I don't know. Can I tell you a secret?
Always, you know that.
I know we shouldn't, but I was thinking about my parents today.
No. 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 No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
No, it was, it wasn't, I wasn't missing them or anything. I was
Christina,
just...
don't.
I...
Don't. Not even to me. Don't.
I mean, do you? At all?
No. Never. I have no idea what they look like, how... I don't care. No. No. And neither should you. It's irrelevant. It's horrible. Why would you even know?
Well, sorry, I wouldn't have brought it up if I knew it was going to be, you know? Forget it, it's fine.
I'm sorry,
No, it's fine. I sometimes wonder if it would be so bad to remember, you know?
I think it's very important that we do not talk about this again. I will have to inform the elders if you ever speak of it again.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway, good fight. I should probably get back.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll see you at Marcus's class later.
Yeah. And I would like hurry out, and then as soon as I'm out of range, I would just like stop again and just...
The winds of the mountain howl around you as you stand alone in your own thoughts.
She wants to go back in. So she's going back and see if if Christina is still there.
She's there, just sitting by the side of the pool of water in the center.
Christina.
She looks.
I'm sorry.
No, you're right. This is why you study books and I punch things. I know it's silly. I know we're here for a greater purpose. I know, but sometimes I still feel like a child.
It's okay. Let's walk back together, okay? And we'll just forget about it.
And she just reaches out and gives you a hug. And holds you as the beam of light just illuminates the two of you in the center of this cabin.
Come.
You walk. And as you part ways, you head back to your studies. And you read, thinking on that which Christina has confessed to you. And as the day wears on and the sun continues its grey arc in the sky, hidden by clouds and mist, eventually, time comes for training in the courtyard. As around 10 of you in total stand, yourself, Christina, and others who have grown up alongside you, all of you now wearing on a piece of string this wooden pendant. Some has been carved, others have not. But Elder Marcus walks in front of each of you as you all stand in a line.
Today's lesson will be sparring. A conflict is not something that we desire, but in our mission it is unavoidable. There are a great many creatures out there that seek to do you harm. I've taught you much over the last few years, so let's see it in action. Ayleen.
Yes.
Christina. You appear to disappear off with one another. I imagine you are training, so let's see if that practice has paid off.
Yes, sir.
We'll be unarmed for now, and then we'll move to staffs. Stand opposite one another.
So, Christina looks over to you and nods as this large, colourful red, yellow, and orange tree looms above you. And you walk and stand opposite one another, Elder Marcus between you, holding his staff out, almost like a starting line. He looks between you each.
Whenever you're ready. Don't hold back.
And he brings his staff up. I'd like you to roll for initiative, please.
But I'm still sore from earlier. 22.
Wow, that is much better than Christina. So you get to go first.
All right. Well, I think I'm not allowed to go soft on her, so I guess I'll just start with a straight punch in stomach.
Okay, roll to attack.
Just normal 1d20, you said, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. 10.
That does not hit, unfortunately. As you rush forward and Christina just dodges to one side, she is going to try and attack you. That entirely misses with a 7. So she rushes forward and you feel a sharp crack against your back as Elder Marcus's staff just thwacks your spine. He goes,
again.
And I will dash forward and try to kick Ayleen. Not Ayleen. Oh my god, can I stop attacking myself? 1d20. Christina, kick her in the upper leg, but it misses.
Okay.
Oh, 8.
8. Again, flying wide of the mark. The two of you both seem fairly spent from earlier, and Christina once again just dodges back. She comes in with a 20, which just thwacks you round the jaw, dealing you 5 points of bludgeoning damage as it just knocks you and you start to see stars as she just dodges back and she mouths a sorry as she just darts back. And you hear Elder Marcus go,
good. Ayleen, watch your flank. Go.
I would try again, rushing forward, and what am I gonna do? I'm going to try to grab her by the shoulders and toss her on the floor, judo style.
okay, roll to attack.
20! A nat 20!
Okay, so if you roll your damage, so if you just roll a d6 and then double the result.
That would be 6 and 6 is 12. It's a nat 6.
So, as you grab Christina, there is a look of genuine surprise on her face as you just throw her backwards, and there is a distinct and you see the rest of your classmates just wince as there is a thud on the flagstone, and you find yourself over Christine, your fist up, and Elder Marcus looks at you.
Good. Well done. I'm impressed. Finish it. Knock her out.
I'm sorry.
Christina just looks at you.
It's okay.
Rolled 4.
So you bring your fist in, and Christina just moves her head to one side, not trying to dodge, but just wincing. And Elder Marcus stands over you, his shadow across. Not good enough.
I couldn't do it. I'm sorry.
There is a... and his staff comes down and cracks across Christina's face, and she goes unconscious.
You're too emotional.
It won't happen again. I'm sorry.
Good. This is today's lesson.
And he turns round to the rest of the class.
We are one people, all who live in Mornvale, but yours is a greater purpose. And it is our burden to set aside that which many others take for granted: family, friendship, love. These things we lay upon the sacrificial altar in order to protect the land, to deliver it from evil. We must protect one another. But if it comes down to it, the order comes first.
And he turns to you.
The order always comes first.
Yes, sir.
Pick her up off the ground. Take her to healing. Class dismissed. For now.
Holy shit.
As you reach down to Christina, there is a loud bang from the other side of the courtyard as 2 large double doors fly open. Large, oaken, slamming against the stone walls. And you see 2 individuals. One is the elven woman that you saw earlier. She stands silent and in place behind the doors. The other storms away from her. She is a human woman. She wears simple brown clothes. She has pale, lined skin and short brown hair that is turning white. A strap of leather covers one of her eyes, under which you see a scar that runs from her hairline to her upper lip. And another strip of leather is tied around her neck like a choker, covering her neck, and barely covered by a heavy brown scarf. And she turns to all of you and sees Christina unconscious, and she sneers.
Get out while you still can, kids.
And she turns and leaves.
Is that the woman from the woods?
It may be you have not seen her as adult Ayleen.
Oh, shit!
But as she walks away, you see the tall elven woman just simply look towards Marcus, shake her head, and close the double doors behind her. And you feel a hand on your shoulder. I'm leaving. And you turn, and you are inside the large cavern that is secret to you and Christine. She stands before you, older, taller, as are you. And she wears brown robes with a heavy scarf around her neck, and over her back is slung a small satchel. And you stand in the middle of this dripping cave, a column of natural light illuminating you both. I wanted to say goodbye before I left.
Are you being sent out today?
I am.
Do you know where you're going?
I am. South, but I'm not really allowed to say where.
That's fine. South.
I know it is only
an amount of time before you get to follow.
Yeah, but you get first.
I was able to
Finally.
do everything first. I went to the peak of the mountain. I kicked your ass. Eh?
You're gonna be great. You're gonna
I
be
hope so.
so great. Whatever it is you need to do, you're gonna be flawless. I know it. And you're gonna make everyone so proud.
I hope so.
When will we see each other again?
I don't know. As far as I'm aware, we simply wander. We wander until we become elders. And then, once we are elders, we either move from town to town and help those like us, or we come back to the monastery and get old and crooked like Hilda Tomasi.
So I guess this is really goodbye.
Until we are old and crooked.
Gonna miss you.
Oh, I'm gonna miss you too. You know, for all the training that I have had, for how much of it has made me strong and good, it has been my memories in this place that have made me strongest of all.
Me too.
I hope I will see you soon, Ayleen.
And if not, then not. It's okay. One people, remember? Well, I wish you good luck.
Thank you.
And I feel really sorry for everyone who's gonna face you in battle.
I am going to kill a vampire one day. I've decided I'm going to kill. I will. I'll kill a vampire.
All right. I believe you. You should go. You should really go.
Yeah.
Been an
She
honor.
holds out a hand. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna go before I
Yes.
change my mind.
You got this. You can do it.
Look after this place.
Will do. It'll be still as shiny. Have fun. It's gonna be fun.
She just nods. And then, with a bow of her head, she heads off in the direction of the tunnel. The gloomy, black tunnel. Until you are stood alone in the middle of the cavern. And the sun begins to set. And all is darkness. And in the darkness, the front door opens. 3 figures are stood before you. Tall, luminescent, shining with a light you have never seen before, glimmering in the dark. Their voices are muffled and strange. And you feel a hand on your shoulder, and as you look up, you see the woman beside you once more, your mother. There are no features on her face. No eyes, no nose, no mouth. She is a blur. And she speaks, but it is like listening to someone underwater. It is muffled and impenetrable. And you look behind you, and you see the man standing in the shadows. You cannot see his face. But for a moment, in the dark,
You see his eyes clear as day, brown and glistening. And a voice. Don't go. And you wake. Waking up, you find yourself in the same room as always. Cold stone walls. Sleeping bodies of your fellow students all around you, all of them grown up during these last years. Some have over the last few months, years, even days left, but most remain. And as you lie there on the harsh stone floor, you sense a shadow over you. A familiar figure stands in the open door. It's a new morning, initiate. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Then come. And Elder Marcus walks. And you follow him through the monastery, past the food hall, past the library and its large oak doors, past the courtyard and its pillars and the great colourful tree that sits in its centre, down long stretching stone corridors with flickering candles melted on the floor, until you reach the steps to the peak of the Sunrise Peaks. And Elder Marcus turns to you. I go no further. The rest of the journey is yours.
Okay.
Ayleen. Bless you.
Thank you. There was another one coming. Sorry. Let's do that again.
He looks at you as you turn, resisting the cold of the air around you, and he nods. It's been an honor.
Likewise, sir.
You walk up the stairs. The familiar horizon of Mornvale all around you. You have learned to chart its different regions. You know them almost by name. And as you continue to walk up, you look into the distance and see the Heartland Forest, the Briar Woods, the unnamed woods. You see Brecton, Everspire, Witchshaw. In the distance, you see Renoras. You see the small island in the centre of the Pallid Lake, where you know resides the town of Gallighurst. You see Mornmount. You see the Howling Ridge. You see the Mornfang Mountains. In the distance, you see the Barrow Woods. And as you continue to ascend the stairs, you see the peak of the mountain. At its top, flat surface, the small bench and a roof above it. Sat on the bench, there is a figure. A tall, pale, elven figure with a brown braid over one shoulder. She sits with her hands on her knees, and her eyes turn towards you. Hello, Ayleen.
Hi.
It is good to finally meet you.
Likewise.
Come, sit with me. And as you approach and you see her look up in your direction, you see that her eyes are grey and misted over. She has no pupils. And as you approach and sit next to her, she reaches a hand up towards your face. May I?
Mm-hmm.
And she feels your forehead, your cheekbones, and she places her other hand and just slowly feels out your face.
Do you know who I am?
Elder Lucia.
You have been here almost 2 decades now. And I have observed your progress from afar. I have heard many good things from Marcus and Tomasi and the other elders. How have you found your training?
Very useful, ma'am.
I bring you here with a proposition. One that has been brought to me by the other elders. They say to me that you are ready to venture out into Mornvale and begin your mission. But it is one thing for others to say it and for others to believe it. Do you think you are ready?
Yes, ma'am. I'm ready.
So certain. And she reaches out and touches your hand and holds it. You ready to fight the evils of this world?
Yes, ma'am.
You're ready to bring light to the people of Mornvale.
Yes.
Good. Then I believe we have a mission for you. To the south, in the settlement of Everspire.
All right.
One of our elders is positioned in the town, one Elder Lucas. He will tell you more.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have no doubt we will meet again. But in the meantime, may I have your pendant?
Yes. I would hand it over.
She reaches out for it and guides your hand onto hers as she just feels it with her hands.
It is beautifully carved.
Thank you, ma'am.
And she brings it up to her mouth, kisses it, and she whispers something in Elvish. And she hands it back to you and places your hand on top of it.
May the dawn rise to meet your every endeavor. So, one final time. What is your name, Initiate?
Ayleen.
Where have you come from?
Oh. I don't know. She would be really silent. I think Ayleen would be really silent as she tries to remember what it was. She would know this though. Like, it was told to her many times.
She just looks at you and takes your silence in with a nod.
You come from nothing. You come from nowhere.
Yes, ma'am.
There is only the order.
Yes, ma'am.
And Ayleen, tell me why you head out into the world.
To serve the people and bring light to Mornvale.
For a new dawn will rise, and we will meet it on the sunrise peaks as it washes over Mornvale. I wish you luck.
Thank you.
And she stands and she leaves, leaving you alone on the stone bench at the top of the Sunrise Peaks, looking out onto the horizon of Mornvale, a land which is only still yet to open itself up to you. And that is where we will end this week's session.
And where the actual story starts.
Yeah, so this has been more of an experimental one for us, but thank you everyone for watching, for listening, for joining us, and a huge props to Arianna as well for carrying an entire session on her own as well.
Well, big shout out to you for that, actually. Also, a big shout out to the chat for there were a lot of subs as well, anonymously. I don't know who's behind that.
Well, thank you, anonymous subs.
Yeah, thank you. It's been lovely to just like peek at the chat once in a while and see people react to it. It's been really fun. It was really heavy. Holy crap.
No, it was. But I guess that's what happens when you're indoctrinated into an order of monks. But no, you were amazing. All of you in the chat were amazing. Arianna, is there anything that you want to plug before we say goodbye?
I'll let the bot do it for us. There we go. Exclamation mark Arianna. Exclamation mark @ boom. There we go. And thank you for watching, and thank you for being here, and you guys are awesome.
Thank you so much. We will be back again next week. We will have everyone back for the first time in the new year. I'm very excited and very worried about what's going to happen at the start of the next session, but we will find out. But either way, we hope to see you there. And in the meantime, continue staying safe, stay well, and love each other. We'll certainly love you very much, but we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.